How's it going there, guys? James from Butler Farms out here just getting a little work done. And as I was walking down the driveway, I looked over here to where I have my new compost pile, the one I've been trying to set up, and I found something that keeps happening over and over again. Guys, that compost pile was over waist high. I'm right at 6 feet tall, and it was over my waistline. And now it is flat as it can be. It's been strewn everywhere. You see all the cardboard that in the other video I showed you putting it in, and it was starting to break down, and now it's spread everywhere. And I'm kind of at a loss, to be honest with you. I don't really know what's going on. We do have dogs, but the thing about it is that there's nothing in this compost pile that should attract a dog, to be honest with you. Everything in it is fruits and vegetables, which, as you know, that's not one of their favorite meals. And it was buried pretty deep under there. It's got fresh, I put fresh grass clippings in here for my nitrogen every time that I cut grass, and that was just last week. And I stirred it, I stacked it back up. It was looking good. When I actually tore it apart and put the grass on it, you could feel down in it, it had some warmth in the middle of it. And I just don't know. I don't know. A couple of days ago, I came out and a bunch of crows, well, 2 or 3 crows anyway, got up out here, and I just don't think this is crows doing this. And I haven't caught the dogs out here doing it. Most of the time when they're outside, I'm outside with them. And I haven't caught them down here. I haven't caught them in it. It doesn't look like dogs digging. I do not have a clue. I just don't know. And the real frustrating thing about it is right here on the other side of this pine tree is where the other compost pile was that I used for 2 years, and there's still a piece of it right there through those green bushes on the other side of that pine tree that I've still got a little compost in there. And I would be willing to say that that's about 15 or 20 feet further down the hill. All I did is take it from there and move my new compost pile down to here, just to simply get it out of sight of the driveway to make Mama happy. And I don't know. I haven't caught raccoons down here. I do have trail cameras, but they're up at the camp house. I don't have access to them right now. I guess I'm gonna have to go get them and see what's going on, and if it is raccoons or possums or whatever it happens to be, they're gonna have to leave here, probably violently. But this can't keep happening. Like I said, it takes a little while to stir this. It's not the most enjoyable work. Obviously the pitchfork gets hung and all this cardboard and everything else, so by the time you start and stack it back up and wet it down and do all the things that you're supposed to do, you know, you've put in some time and effort. And this is, like I said, about the 3rd time that I've come out here and the compost pile is torn up like this. And like I said, I never once had a problem in that compost pile up there. It started out as wood chips. This started out as branches and things like that from the yard. You can see a few of them in there. I added cardboard up there when I needed more carbon. I added cardboard down here. I have fruits and vegetables left over from a facility here in town that lets me have big boxes of them that they're going to throw in the dumpster anyway. Those went in there and were stirred in. Same thing down here. And never once had a problem up there. Not one time. Like I said, that's only about 15 feet away. You can see right on the side of that little pine tree, you can still see part of that compost pile that I still have a little bit of right there in the middle of the screen. So I'm at a loss. I don't know. It's not something I can do today. I've got other things I have to do. Luckily, this is not something that I am in a big hurry to finish. I told you from the beginning, when I started this compost pile, this is for next spring. So I know people do 90-day compost and all this kind of stuff. Guys, this was going to be 9-month compost to begin with. It was going to be a slow process. I just don't have enough ingredients to make it big enough and tall enough to make it extremely hot. You know, I have thought about doing the same thing that Billy does up at Perma Pastures Farm. Again, go check him out and see what he does with the fencing that he puts in circles, and obviously that would keep most of the animals out of it, but it stacks it up real good and high, and that temperature in the middle gets real hot, and he can turn over compost very, very quickly because it is breaking down so fast and the heat is building up so much in it. So that may be what I have to do, not necessarily because I need the compost right now. I know he turns it over that fast because he uses it constantly. I mainly just use it in the spring. You know, when I'm mulching around my fruit trees, things like that. You've seen me do it. So I don't need it as much or as quickly as he does. Hopefully one day I can, but that may be what I have to do, is put it in a ring on a pallet like he does, and then you simply move the ring to another pallet and restack it in there, and keep putting the outside on the inside and letting it break down. And it's a quick process, but I'm at a loss with this. I've been out here walking around looking. I don't see any evidence. And guys, I grew up in the woods, and I know tracks, and I know you know, I can kind of tell if it's an animal, and then most of the time I can kind of figure out what animal it is that's doing it. I don't know. I've never had a compost pile that does this, and all of my compost piles have been within about 50 feet of where I'm standing right now. It's not like it was on the other side of the property where we have no animals. It's been right here in these woods, or on the edge of these woods, for the last 15 years. And this is the first time it's been destroyed like this, over and over and over. There's no meat, there's nothing in here that would attract a dog. There's just not. And like I said, I'm out here most of the time when I'm not sleeping, and I've never caught the dogs down here. So if you've got an idea, I'd like to hear it. I know it's kind of hard for you to make a you know, a diagnosis on the other side of that screen, but yep, this is getting frustrating because I had it nice and neat and picked up, and now I got to bring the pitchfork back out here and pile this all up again and restir it and start over. That's the only thing I can do. I'm not mad about it. I'm not, just, it is what it is, but I wish I could catch whatever's doing this, and we would take care of that little problem, and that wouldn't be an issue anymore. But until I can get the trail cameras or catch them in the act, that's all I can do, unless you can tell me what you think is doing this. But anyway, I'll get it put back together. There's really not a lot of updates I can do on slow composting compost, but I did want to bring you an update to see if anybody can tell me what's going on over here. So I'll get it restacked, wet it down again, and stir it. And it's getting hot here in central Alabama, so that ought to help a little bit. But you know, you got to figure something out, because 9-month compost don't need to turn into 12-month compost, especially when I'm going to need it in about 8 months. So anyway, that's the update on the compost. It is what it is. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you again. I said in my last video, a thank you for those of you that have subscribed. We've hit 500. That is something that honestly I didn't think we would ever do, and because this kind of started out as a dare to see if I would actually do it, and there was really no expectation that anybody would ever watch these videos or even subscribe. And you have, and you've done it in big numbers, and now it's on to the next goal, which is 1,000. So tell your friends, tell your family, you know, tell whoever you can tell. And don't, on your end, you don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps more than you know. And I'll bring you an update from the garden this weekend when I slow down a little bit. We're supposed to have a lot of rain this weekend, but I'll get down there and I'll show you what's going on, because it is popping now. So I don't know that I'll see you before then, but if not, God bless you. We love you. This is James from Butler Farms, and we'll be seeing you.